Alright, so the next generation of Infinix and Tecno's mid-range smartphones will be powered by MediaTek Helio G96 chipset. The Helio G96 processor was recently announced, and it will bring two significant upgrades to Infinix and Tecno phones. First, it will enable Tecno and Infinix smartphones to use 108 megapixel camera. Secondly, it will also enable Tecno and Infinix smartphones to have 120Hz refresh rate with full HD Plus resolution. Now, these two upgrades were features the previous MediaTek Helio G95 chipset could not achieve. Now, that's the reason why the likes of the Tecno Phantom X, Tecno Camon 17 Pro, and Infinix Note 10 Pro could not have 120Hz refresh rates. They were locked on 90Hz refresh rates because the chipset that powers them, the Helio G95 chipset, could only support 90Hz refresh rate and 64 megapixel. So with the arrival of Helio G96 chipset, the forthcoming Infinix Tecno phones would be enabled to use 120Hz refresh rate and 108 megapixel camera sensor. Now, when you look at it from this angle, the MediaTek Helio G96 chipset seems to be an upgraded version, but not in all areas. For example, when it comes to GPU, which is involving playing of games and graphics rendering, the MediaTek Helio G95 chipset is better than the Helio G96. Yeah, you heard me right. The Mali GPU chipset on the Helio G95 has 4 cores, while that of Helio G96 has only 2 cores. So if you are the type that loves playing games and you are an intensive gamer, it is better for you to stick with your Helio G95 chipset smartphones. That is when it comes to gaming, the Tecno Phantom X that is powered by G95 chipset, the Infinix Note 10 Pro that is powered by G95 chipset will perform better than the forthcoming smartphones with Helio G96 chipset when it comes to gaming and graphics rendering. Moreover, in the areas of CPU, both smartphones are equal. It is expected that their gimbal scores, both in single and multi-cores, will run around the same point because both processors has the same CPU architecture, 2x Cortex-A76 and 6x Cortex-A55. So there's no upgrade when it comes to GPU and when it comes to CPU. Both are on the same level. So what's the take-home point from here? So the take-home point is that the arrival of the new generation of Tecno and Infinix smartphones would have some advancements when it comes to camera and when it comes to display. But when it comes to the CPU and the GPU, they are flat because in the area of GPU, the previous generation G95 is better than the G96. While when it comes to the CPU, they are both equal on the same side. So you have two types of category. If you love playing games, playing intensive games, that means you will stick with the G95 chipset smartphones. But if you're a type that loves camera and high refresh rate, that means you will go to the Helio G96 chipset. But if that is the case, the way it is now, will you consider the G96 chipset to be a worthy upgrade of the G95 chipset? Let me know your opinion in the comment section. And one more reason I was disappointed was that following the event, the unveiling of the MediaTek Helio G96, I actually expected it to include 5G connectivity. So, but sadly, it remains 4G, just like its predecessor G95. So it means that for you to have any MediaTek chipset with 5G, you have to go to the Dimensity MediaTek chipset before you can get 5G. So that was one area MediaTek let down. They could have enabled the G96 to be 5G, and that would have differentiated it entirely from the G95. But it is what it is. 4 gigs of 4G network is still enabled on the G96. Also, it is not only Tecno and Infinix smartphones that will use this new processor on this new chipset, MediaTek Helio G96. Samsung and Xiaomi will also use this same chipset on their forthcoming entry-level smartphones and budget mid-range smartphones. Anyway, having said enough about this chipset, let me know your opinion in the comment section. If you have mixed feeling, if you are ready to sacrifice your gaming experience for better camera and better display, let me know in the comment section. And you can also follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MyHD. I will link it below in the description, where I'll be giving you more updates subsequently. Remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on the post bell. It's MyHD here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around on my next one.